Hello and welcome to Nintendo News Week. I'm your host, Mark Ball, here with Sean, the Killa from the Villa. Sean Kill. Say hello to millions and millions of Nintendo lovers out there, Sean.
Whoa, I can hear them like going right now. Hey, fans of Nintendo everywhere.
The raucous, rambunctious Nintendo lovers.
They're crazy.
Well, if you're listening to this when it just comes out, it is a beautiful, hopefully, Saturday morning where you're at. And we are here to cover all the major Nintendo headlines for the week leading up to January 9th, 2016.
This is hot off the press news, then.
You got it. Well, for those of you who have been following the show, you'll notice a brand new format. Rather than lumping all of the news and chat from the week, chit-chat, we decided to break the old show down. So, Nintendo News Week is a newly designed segment that focuses purely on the major headlines.
Yeah, like the news.
Yeah. Do you want to listen to some chatter about games? We've got a brand new series called We Chat About, and our first episode was posted yesterday. We Chat About in X. Link below if you want to access that. As always, you can follow Nintendo Love Affair on Twitter for daily news updates at Nin Love Affair. That's N-I-N Love Affair. Sean Kill, do you got Twitter?
I don't.
Oh,
so no one can follow me.
You know what? There's a lot of people that don't. So if you want to follow us on Facebook, that's fine too. We're at facebook.com/Nintendo Love Affair, where you can also get your daily Nintendo news fix.
That is my choice, Facebook.
Now, guess what, Sean Kill?
What's that?
We've got Twitter. We've got Facebook. You know what else we got now?
Love for Nintendo.
We got Love for Nintendo, but we also have a website coming down the road.
What?
Yeah. Another way for you to get your news. We want to be your number one source for all things related to Nintendo. That means news, that means reviews, and of course, articles and conversation. Shall we get into the headlines?
Alright, what's up, Mark Ball?
Well, first up, we've got a birthday. A 25th birthday.
Oh.
You know who it is?
Oh.
Sonic the Hedgehog turns...
Sonic?
Oh yeah, they will be celebrating their 25th year anniversary.
Wow.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, I don't think he's slowed down at all, has he? Maybe a little bit.
I think that depends which Sonic title you're playing nowadays.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, Sega hasn't mentioned any plans for Sonic's next game. They are releasing a title called Sonic Boom Fire and Ice for the 3DS. It's coming out this year.
Okay.
But they don't seem to be doing anything big for the 25th birthday, the 25th anniversary.
Huh.
Did you ever get much time with Sonic as a child or as an adult?
No. Sonic for me kind of was under the radar. He was on obviously Sega platforms back in the day before Sega stopped making systems. So I never owned a Sega system of any sort. And then there's a couple games for the Wii that almost got my attention to buy a Sonic game. I think Sonic Colors was probably one of the better awarded Sonic games for the Wii, where different color wisps, I think where they were called wisps, kind of had different powers and kind of more of a good platforming game compared to some of the other Sonic racers or this and that. It did go back to its roots of some platforming, but no, I never did dive into the Sonic game really.
I recently picked up Sonic Colors, and I have not jumped into it yet. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to play it. It had a pretty solid review. I gotta tell you though, one of the best titles I think that has come out in a while was Sonic Generations.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yes, I yeah, but you got me thinking, about it. I'm like, yeah, that does sound like I did hear about that being a, good rated game.
Yeah, it combined all the different takes on Sonic, all the best takes on Sonic into one game. I put a decent amount of hours into it, but I didn't beat it, but I did enjoy the time I had with it. That was while I owned a PS3. That was a short-lived relationship there between the PS3 and I, but I'm a little disappointed to hear Sega's not going to celebrate it. Sonic is their number one mascot, if not their only true mascot for the company. Obviously they've put out a lot of other titles, but
Yeah.
Sonic, while maybe not as universal as Mario, he's definitely probably the most popular rival Mario has.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I do find that interesting. As much as so many things are being celebrated nowadays, they look back at everything, so it's like, yeah, that's hard to believe they're not doing something about Sonic.
Next headline, sir.
Next.
Another anniversary. Platinum is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year.
10 years.
Yes, sir.
What's your initial Platinum memory?
I don't know if I've played any of their games. I guess what's the one? Mad World would be my first exposure to them, and that's a game you own.
Yes, Mad World was the shocking Wii title. There's actually a few of those, and probably one of the top 5 shocking Wii titles that was, a Wii exclusive was the Mad World. The Wii was known for being kitty and all the above, or gimmicky, if you will. And then it came out with a game like Mad World. Yeah, it's gruesome. You would literally grab a sign out of a street, like a street pole sign, and you would actually kind of run it through their head. That would get you more points. And then you could always finish them off with one other thing by throwing them in front of a train, or by throwing them on a wall of spikes called the Rose Bush.
That makes me pretty excited for Star Fox Zero.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of twist they're going to put in that. What kind of platinum twist they'll do.
I don't know. I like that. The platinum twist. I tell you, Star Fox, Bayonetta 2, and Wonderful 101 are all titles that I will own someday on my Wii U.
When does Star Fox come out again?
It's April 2016.
April, then. Okay.
Yep, April 21st, 2016.
Now, there was a Star Fox for the Super, a Star Fox for the 64. Was there Star Fox Assault for the GameCube?
Yep. Star Fox Assault and Star Fox Adventure.
I don't think there's anything for the Wii.
So they did put out a couple titles for the 3DS.
Yeah.
So that
was one of them actually Star Fox 64, not to sound like that. But
Star Fox 64 3D and Star Fox Command were both on. Star Fox Command was on the DS. Star Fox 64 3D was on the 3DS. So we're looking at an entire generation without an original Star Fox.
Right.
Entire generation of consoles. Now we're due. We're definitely due, and it better be good. There's a lot of people. The Star Fox fan base has never been huge, I don't think, but it has been die hard for sure. And if Platinum messes it up, I think they're gonna hear about it for sure. Moving on, next headline.
Next.
Yacht Club Games, the creator of Shovel Knight, put out a statement saying that their goal is to completely finish the Shovel Knight content expansions in 2016. So this is a game that you are required to buy on your Xbox One, so that way we may have a chat about it. In case you didn't know, Sean Kill and dear listeners, the original Shovel Knight is available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, Wii U, 3DS, Xbox One, and PC. So it's a wonderful universal title. And they released an entire expansion for it called Plague of Shadows, where they took the game and finagled it so that way you could play through it as one of the bad guys from the original game. So you could actually go through it as Plague Knight. And it's kind of a big deal because they had to alter the game a lot in order for it to be balanced and for it to play right. Because Plague Knight plays completely different than Shovel Knight. So this free content is essentially a second game, or at least a second version of the game, and it's free. The Shovel Knight amiibo that I just picked up came out today. Went out. I found the last one in my city. They did not have any anywhere else. I managed to scoop up one, and exactly this this amiibo is going to be unlocking much more content as well, including a co-op mode, dozens of different skins for the character, challenge mode, and so much more. All for $13 you get quality content and an amiibo. That's pretty darn good in quality and how it looks. I'd say that's a fair deal.
Did you unbox it?
I haven't. I have not connected it with my Wii U yet. I have sitting in front of me, haunting me. Yeah, so they have a lot more content planned for 2016. They are going to be doing a Spectre Knight expansion where they again retool the game so you can play as Spectre Knight, and then the same as King Knight. So you're going to be getting 2 more versions of this game. Now they did comment and say that they're not sure how they're going to release this content. They don't know if it's going to be the entire game retooled, because apparently that took a little longer and it took a little more effort than they thought to make it work, because they figured out, well, Plague Knight doesn't play the same as Shovel Knight. We have to go back and fix a lot of things. So they're not sure if it's going to be a much more focused version of the game where they don't have the world map and all of that, or how they're just not sure how it's going to be packed. Their exact quote is, maybe they won't have the world map or visit the locations in the same way. Maybe it'll be something more concise and less stretched out. Those are the kinds of things we're talking. They have dedicated a couple years to this game, so it is their, most likely it is their flagship title for a while anyways. Pretty exciting stuff, and I think this is a big deal to me because I think it's a good model for Nintendo to follow for their amiibo line. Typically with the amiibos, you're not really unlocking a lot of content, you're just unlocking costumes or characters in a game. But Yacht Club Games actually tie entire expansions to the game, like to the figure. I think that's a good idea. I think that's, to me, having something physical makes the idea of DLC a lot more enticing.
Right.
Or it makes the idea of paying for DLC a little more enticing. Yeah. Next headline, sir.
Next.
We've got 2 more left. 2 new books have been released, one of which focuses on Shigeru Miyamoto, and it talks about, it analyzes his career and his life and his creative process and how he kind of developed each game, and it's a really detailed look at what he's done. The second one is called Legends of Localization, Book 1, and it's apparently a detailed offering discussing the development of The Legend of Zelda on the regular Nintendo. Now, I know you're not much of a reader, Shankil, but does any of that sound interesting to you?
Yeah, and I've actually read too a little bit before how he's kind of came up with some of this game. It sounds like sometimes it's just his. Actually, the one I will say is probably one of his least popular games would be Wii Fit, and with the balance board, he developed that game from his so-called obsession of weighing himself. And, I definitely find that very interesting. So I think it would be really cool. Like in Mario, the ball on the chain, where like a chain walk or whatever those things are called.
Yeah.
Didn't he get that from, he would go past his neighbors and there'd be a dog on a chain and kind of the same thing. And he literally kind of put his kid life to, just his thoughts and, all that into his games. And yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not the biggest reader, but yeah, definitely sounds interesting to me.
Well, yeah, anything that gives insight into the minds of Nintendo, I think is worth a read, especially if you're somebody with creative aspirations. There's so much focus on people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, and they're definitely powerful and influential leaders, but people like Steve Wozniak, the one who actually developed the Apple computer, the people behind the coding and putting together Facebook, or, the actual creative talents behind these things, you never get to hear much about them. And, Miyamoto's done a really good job, and I'm sure, it wasn't even intentional, but Miyamoto's, he's become the face of Nintendo for sure, and he's always been pretty open about his inspiration. Yeah, he said as a child he enjoyed getting lost in the city. And that was the idea of the open world maps of Zelda, is he liked the idea of needing to figure your way out.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool, and I think that's what has kept Nintendo youthful, in the sense that you can, in a derogatory way, you can say Nintendo is a console for kids, but I think a better way to put it is Nintendo is a company for those that are kids at heart.
Exactly. I agree with that. Yeah, that's what leads me to Nintendo. It just I saw something on Facebook that showed a picture of the Nintendo 64 console and the Super Mario 64, which will be always my favorite game. It just takes me back to being 10 years old, and I can just, that nostalgia of playing that game, and I will never forget it. I don't want to forget those times, and so yeah, I just think, like you said, it's not that I'm immature for playing video games. It's just that I'm a kid at heart, and there's something that I love about jumping on mushrooms and saving the princess.
Exactly. Iwata has said it himself, and I agree, that video games need to be just one thing, and that's fun.
Yep.
And I don't think there is a company out there that knows more about fun than Nintendo.
Right.
Well, that brings us to our final. That brings us to our final article, Sean, and it's a bit of a downer, and it also kind of riles me up.
What's that, Marco?
On January 5th, Nintendo stock slipped 5% in Tokyo after Nomura Securities said the mysterious new console NX, which is to be unveiled this June. I'm reading a headline here, and first of all, I'm angry because no one from Nintendo has confirmed that the system is going to be unveiled in June. First of all, that's not true. But this Nomura Securities has said that the NX is going to cannibalize the existing sales of 3DS and Wii U. And because of this analyst named Junko Yamamura making this statement, they reduced the operating profit forecast for Nintendo by a large percentage, which forced a dip in its stock. And the reason I want to cover this little headline here is because I think it highlights the importance of the hype machine and rumor mongering and people creating these clickbait news articles for people to click. It has never been confirmed that they're going to unveil the console in June. It would be a good idea for them to unveil the console at E3.
Mm-hmm.
But no one said they're going to.
Right.
These rumors are turning into matter-of-fact pieces of news, and it's just not the case. The other thing is this comment on how the NX is going to cannibalize the sales of 3DS and Wii U. Like, no, duh. That's the idea. It's a transition period between the Wii U and the NX. They want their customers and potential customers to stop focusing on this generation of systems and move on. That's how the video game industry works. It's not any different for any other company. So I don't know what is with this focus, this intense focus on Nintendo right now. I feel like there's too many people that are like pessimistically rooting against them almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there is always just something about being against Nintendo. I don't know what it is.
I think people see how Nintendo just wants to be good. And Nintendo has reigned supreme for a long time, and it's been around for an even longer time. So I think people see that, and it's just they like to be contrarians. And just like when the Sega came out, Nintendo was great. The Super Nintendo was a great machine. People flocked towards Sega because it was the anti-establishment machine, and it flaunted itself as being fast, and Sega do what Nintendo don't. or Sega does what Nintendo don't. And it turned out that once you got past all the bullcrap, oh, I'm sorry, family show. Once you got past all the hype, the Sega was not better in any way.
Yep. Right.
So, and I think this mantra still goes on today, like that. It's not about power or technology. It's just, is it fun? And I think the Wii U suffered from being mismanaged by the company itself. It wasn't marketed very well. They shouldn't have had the Wii name attached.
That's probably their biggest thing.
Yeah, they unveiled it. Their unveiling of that machine was just horrific at that E3. No one knew what the heck they were doing. And it was, honestly, it was doomed from the beginning. But I love it. And I think it's a system that 5 years from now, people are going to look back on and say, wow, Wii U is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. One thing I wish I would have seen the other day, I want to see its interface a little bit more. I played at stores with the demos and the kiosks and all that, but I just need to play it, and start it up and, sometime. And I love the concept behind it. They gave so many awesome ideas, but no one just follows through with it because I don't think they had the best sales numbers. So, if you want to spend a lot of money making a game for a system that you feel like not many people are going to buy,
Exactly. And the Wii had a lot of third-party support, but it also had a lot of garbage on it too.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the Wii U is by far a better system than the Wii because you can do everything that the Wii could do, but it has that tablet controller and it has a larger focus on just plain old gaming. So if you want to play Just Dance with your Wiimote, you can. But if you want to sit down and play some Shovel Knight with a classic controller scheme, you can't. Like, how can you get any better than that?
Yeah, and then there gets to just be almost too much because I have a Wii remote from back in the day where you still need to attach the Wii Remote Plus to it. And then you have the regular Wiimotes that has the Wii Motion Plus in it. Then you have a classic controller, and then you have like a Pro controller, and then you have the Wii, the tablet, the gaming pad, and they announced at one time that, hey, there can be 2 game pads per system. Well, that's never really followed through, has it?
No. And I think the fate of the gamepad was decided shortly after launch when the sales numbers just weren't doing what Nintendo thought they would do. Well, I think we're about that time, Sean Kill. We're over. So this has been a great conversation, and I guess listeners, you can expect more like this in future episodes. So please check back often. Sean Kill, why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to the listeners?
Hey, listeners, thank you for, listening to this. And please, come back again for even more up-to-date Nintendo news.
All right, thank you, Sean Kill. And thank you for listening. Tune in every Saturday morning for Nintendo News Week, where we discuss the week's biggest Nintendo headlines. Also, keep a lookout for our new series, We Chat About. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe right here on YouTube for all of our Nintendo Love Affair content. Remember, you can get your daily updates from us on Twitter, Facebook, and our soon-to-arrive website. Nintendo Love Affair, your #1 source for all things Nintendo. Have a great weekend!